Hey guys, it's been about a week since the Grimace's birthday 100% competition ended, and I just want to give an update on kind of how things went, who ended up getting the money, and what the events were that led to the final standings at the end of the month. So let's kind of look at what happened. We'll start way back when Grimace's birthday released, June 11th of 2023. Devin Decker submitted the very first 100% run. First run was 7 minutes 35 seconds. He improved that to 6 minutes 33 seconds. And Lasul set a new record time of 6.5 minutes, 6 minutes 27 seconds. Wormlord, 6 minutes 17. Cheese Soda Punch lowered it to 6:15. And the final run of 2023 happened June 21st. Jelloknife set a new time of 5:52. This was the very last run before the competition started. This is kind of when the game died and when people stopped speedrunning. So on, I believe it was June 3rd, I released my competition video. It was supposed to be on the 1st. I was a little bit behind, but that's okay. So Praying Mantis Kung Fu was the very first person to submit a time for the competition, just one day after it started, and they submitted a 5:21. The record was already improved by over 30 seconds, which I kind of expected because Jelloknife was running on a previous patch with cutscenes. So I don't know an exact time, but I think that Jelloknife's run would actually be somewhere in the 450 range, somewhere around like 455, 456 maybe. So kind of keep that in mind when we're going through the runs. Jelloknife's route, to their credit, actually remained relatively unchanged. There were some optimizations, obviously, and some small routing updates, but we'll kind of get to those as we get to the relevant runs. So Spanikef submitted the first ever sub-5 time, the last minute barrier that will probably ever be broken for this category, unless something crazy is found. Spanikef had a 4:53, improved the record by about 28 seconds. This run was pretty significant because I think that with that 4:53, it probably would have beaten Jelloknife's time even without cutscenes. So yeah, pretty good run. Nothing crazy optimized yet, but it was a good start. Spanikef then sort of took over and submitted two more runs, a 4:48 and a 4:46, improving the record before anybody else even got a chance, honestly. In the span of about 6 days, Spanikef lowered the record from 5:21 all the way down to 4:46. And something significant actually happened between the 4:48 and the 4:46. I'll kind of show you. This is Jelloknife's initial route for 1-2, the second section of 1-2. So I'll just let this play. First, you drop down here, grab that milkshake, grab that milkshake, go all the way up to the left, grab this shake, go all the way up, very top left to grab that milkshake, and then drop down. This is actually a really cool little drop down here. I really love this move, that drop down right there. Grab the final milkshake, and go all the way back up to the goal. End of the level right there. The new way to do 1-2 is something I'm pretty proud of. I routed the second section of 1-2, or rerouted it, I should say. And this is the new strategy. You grab this milkshake first, bypass the milkshake that was grabbed by Jelloknife on the previous route, drop down, then we grab that shake, go up to the left, and the rest of the route is pretty similar, except we've already grabbed both milkshakes on the right side, so we don't have to go back down. We can just go straight to the end of the level. That was pretty cool. Ended up saving, I think, about 2 seconds overall. Not 100% sure, but I think it's somewhere around 2 seconds that we saved. So, Spanikef has kind of established himself as the person to beat at this point. So, here's where I come in with my first record. I had a little bit of a slow start. Had some PBs, had some sub-5 runs, but nothing world record worthy until this point. And I set a 4:45. So at this point when I had this 445, I posted this in the Discord. I'm sure this will be beaten, but I'm pretty happy with a 445. I think 443 is probably a really good target right now. And yeah, it turns out 443 was not just a really good target. 7 hours later, Spanikef decided to go ahead and prove that he was capable of a 443 by submitting a 443.833. This is when we had to start introducing milliseconds on the leaderboard because the top times were getting really close, as you'll see in a minute. So the next person to get a 443 would be me. And this was actually a pretty significant point. You haven't seen Potsy's name show up yet, but Potsy actually started around this time and set another time of 443.833. You might notice that's what Spanikef's previous record was. So at this point, I had a 443.750. Both Spanikef and Potsy were tied to the frame at 443.833. Only 83 milliseconds separated the top three runners at this point, which was pretty insane. Now, something else that was significant about this time is that this is when I figured out a new strategy for 1-2. We had already rerouted the level, and this is kind of what the old route did. Grab this milkshake. Well, the old new route, I guess. Grind on that rail, grind on this rail, and continue on with the level. Now, this was sort of not optimal to try and do, because it turns out a lot of the time on this rail, this is one of my failed attempts here at the beginning, you would grab that milkshake and then fall straight down. You can kind of see how close you get to this rail, to the edge of this rail, and sometimes you would grind on the rail, sometimes you wouldn't. But with my new route, my new strategy here, you grab the milkshake, and instead of risking it and grinding on this rail to go down, get this milkshake, and then grind the other rail, you skip it altogether, start a little further left on this rail, you just drop straight down and continue on your way. That was pretty cool. That was a good discovery because the other strategy was really RNG dependent, not fun at all, and I was resetting quite a bit to that. So you'll notice that I did this on June 18th. This is the same day I discovered the strategy. I set this time of 4:43. A mere 15 hours later, Spanikef does this. Implements my own strategy, better than I did, and sets a new record of 442.333, breaking another second barrier and getting a 442. 15 hours after I discovered this and set a new record time, already destroyed by over a second, which is a pretty huge margin at this point. Now, something I want to show you is the next message that I made in the Discord. So here's where I got that 443. Here's Potsy's 443. This ended up being retimed to 0.833, which is the run that tied Spanikef. And you'll see that my response here is, wow, nice run. 3 of us at 443. I'm wondering how possible 441 is. Now, I would get an answer really quickly, because a mere 3 hours later, Potsy breaks what would be the final second barrier of the competition and sets a 441.567 as the target time to beat. Now, this was an absolutely insane time. I said all week, as I was grinding in the final week, that this would be definitely the time to beat, and that it might hold up for the rest of the competition. Potsy also notably implemented my own strat better than I did. 1 day later is doing the new drop-down strat, so I'm being made to look like a fool after discovering that by doing it slower than anybody else. So something else to note is that this run was completed on June 19th. At that point, there was a week and a half left of the competition. So this will prove to be a really, really difficult run to beat. I ran the game the last week of the competition. You can see I ran 14 days ago, 13 days ago, 12 days ago, 10 days ago, 8 days ago, 7 days ago. This was the last week of the competition. I ran every day that I could for a couple hours a day. And it was only at the very, very, very end, the last second, I came in with a 441.350, the final time of the competition, improved the record by only 0.2 of a second, and it took me, I mean, literally the entire week. The entire week I was grinding for a better time. So that was an insane time to set with a week and a half left to go. So congrats to Potsy. These were the final standings, with me in first at 441.350, Potsy in second, and Spanikef in third. 7 total people ended up entering the competition, which I'm pretty happy with. I didn't know if anybody else would run at all, even with $200 on the line. I'm pretty thrilled with how it ended up. 7 people ran, and the competition was really, really tight at the top. You can see some of the other runners here, and yeah, it was hard fought. It did pretty much exactly what I wanted it to, and inspired a lot of competition at the top of the leaderboard. So I won't say exactly who, in case they don't end up doing this, but at least one runner has expressed interest in possibly lowering the record even further, and it definitely is possible. My record is not optimal. A 440, I think, is definitely RTA viable to achieve, so you could see this record go even lower in the future. But Potsy and Spanikef are the 2 winners of the competition. They're the 2 that took some money home. And you might see my name at the top, but in the end, I did lose, $200. So who are the real winners here? We'll see if the time gets lowered even further. I hope that it does. I think 440 is a really, 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 really good target. 439 might be possible, but good luck to anyone who wants to attempt that. So yeah, that's a wrap on the 100% competition for Grimace's birthday. I hope to host another one of these in the future, but it will probably be for a different game. I think both any percent and 100% have been pretty well optimized at this point. Thank you to anyone that participated, whether you were a speedrunner, whether you were posting in the Discord, or promoting it on your own streams. Thank you to the Ray Reviewer and Oncheli for moderating both the Discord and the competition leaderboard. And I hope you guys had fun. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until the next time I host a competition, see you later.